can see my screen. Okay. So as we were discussing the collection of C sharp, okay, collection is a kind of framework. So the basic functionality of collection that we also discussed in last session, but I'll again I'll try to remind you is that, so by using collection, what we can do, let me tell you, just like we have a collection class over here. So we can like add, okay, insert, and we can say remove, sort, sorting, let us say replace, count, and clone, so etc. These kind of activity we can perform, right? So these are basically collection of basically collection designed to store, manage, and manipulate the data. Okay, we can store the data, we can manage the data, like just to add something, insert something, and we can manipulate according to a requirement. That is what collection called. Okay, so collection is all about this. As I told you, that add, manage, and manipulate data, right? Let me cut it from here and paste inside. uh, you can paste it anywhere. Like, this is the main purpose of collection. Okay, so we have to manage the data, and how we'll do that? By using these. We'll create a list and we can add, insert, remove, sorting. Okay, so this is the main purpose of Selenium. So basically the collection is basically a class, kind of class. So we are in this session we will study, like talk about generics and non-generics, okay, collections. And there is one more type, so that is not that much important, but like you should be aware like what is that. So other than that, that is, I think no one will ask, going to ask you at the time of interview as well, but you should be aware like what is that. So there is one more type. Let me draw it on notepad, or let us say, yeah, over here. Yeah, so as I told you that we have a super class that is called collection class, and furthermore this may be divided into three parts. Basically the first that we already have discussed may be like, let us say generic, and this is non-generic, that we're going to discuss. And the last one is that is called concurrent. Okay, so the basic thing is like that. The basic difference you need to focus on is that in the generic, let us say we have same type of data. Okay, either we will create a list or array list of same type of data, just like integer, or we will have separate list for string, we will have a separate list for other data, so the type would be always same. And this, as we are reading collection, so these are always, size is not fixed. Okay, not fixed. And other thing that the property of this is that we can add, remove, and all the other stuff that I have mentioned, add, remove item in collection by using generic. Okay, add, remove item in collection. So like the size is same type, so we can also say this like it's type safe. This is a term called type safe. Okay, and if I talk about the non-generic, then the size is never same. Okay, as I told you, at the time of array list, we can store different type of data inside a single list. Okay, so value of different type. Value of different type. Cool. And so it's the generic is type safe and it's not type safe, right? And other thing is that its also size is not fixed. As you know that we may add as much as we want, not like array. In array the size is fixed, we have to define it like what the size of array. But in dynamic array, these are called dynamic arrays where the size is not fixed. This is similar to the generic. Okay, and everything else is similar. Here also we can add or remove. Okay, we can add, remove item in collection. No one will teach you like this. I am like explaining the internal structure of this. Otherwise everyone will topic wise they will pick array list, this is this list, and they will go on away. But I just want to make you clear, like you need not to study it from anywhere. Just these sessions are enough for you to understand all these concepts. That's why I'm breaking this. It will take, I know it will take little more time for me as well, but I don't care. I just my purpose is that you should be confident at the end. That's why. And basically it's going in one-to-one training, so this is also a kind of advantage for you. So yeah, this is all a win-win situation. So let us say you have understood the generic and non-generic. If I talk about the concurrent, so this is kind of, we can say, this is used when we have multiple thread. I'll explain you in the further session what is single thread, multiple thread. The parallel execution is going on, and the parallel execution accessing a single collection multiple times. At that time, this comes into the scenario. So it was not there in this .NET framework. So it came up. So it came with .NET 4. Okay. So the current version of .NET is always you can remember or you can explore it. Current version of .NET is .NET 6, just recently launched. Okay, so you can remember it, .NET 6. Okay, so like the initially non-generic was this generic was introduced with .NET 2, and the non-generic was from initial. Okay, then with .NET 2 generic come into the picture, and from .NET 6 and 6 onwards this concurrent come into the picture. So okay, and like when do we need to use this? As I told you that when multiple threads accessing accessing the collection simultaneously. MUL PEN, maybe spell, I don't know. So at that time we had when multiple threads accessing collection simultaneously. There are multiple threads of program is running. A single program is running from the different locations, and that is accessing a single collection. So that single collection will be used at multiple times. So in that kind of scenario, we need to use that. So like we don't need to bother about this. uh, you just like there are some methods that can be used inside this, just like we are using in non-generic, we are using array list, okay, sorted list, that kind of thing. So here we will some methods of this is like blocking collection. These are the types of collection over here: blocking collection and many more, just like concurrent, CONCU double RENT, concurrent bag, and concurrent dictionary, CONCURRENT, concurrent DICTIONARY, concurrent dictionary, and many more like concurrent concurrent QUE, and yeah, concurrent stack, all these things. But like as I told you that you need not to bother about this. These are very advanced concepts. Okay. So yeah, and so on. Like there are many others, etc. Okay. So I already have explained you that in generic. So the namespace for this would be like this. As you know that this is collection class. This is our collection class, right? This is the super class or parent class. So in this parent class, these are the child classes like generic, non-generic, concurrent. These are the child classes of collection class. Okay. So the namespace and the parent class for like this would be, there is one more class we can say, that is I'll at the time of inheritance I'll explain you everything like what is the parent class and child class. So just try to understand. We have one more class, let us say system. Okay. So the properties of system class is accessed by collection, and further the collection have different classes inside it, just like generic, non-generic and all. So the namespace for this generic would be system dot collection dot generic. Okay. That when we will use import it by using, so this kind of statement would get generated using system dot collection dot generic. Got it? You got an idea like from where that intelligence is coming at that. Uh, okay. Let us see. We are using like system dot collection. So this is for non-generic. We were studying the non-generic. So yeah, now you get an idea like from where this is coming, system dot collections. And if I talk about the concurrent, like in concurrent, this will come like system dot collection dot concurrent. CURRENT. Yeah, you can understand it. So yeah, this is how like these are the namespaces. So to use these classes, you need to like define from where it's coming. You need to give its full qualified path. So or you may write it inside that namespace, so that every time when you are going to define these generics or non-generic collections, you need not try to define its like full qualified name. That's why you are just defining that namespace above. Okay. So I already have explained you like generics and non-generics. Okay. So let us see. Uh, you have, if I talk about the non-generic, that we already have understood array list. That is non-generic. Non-generic means we are not going to have any particular type of list collection over here. We can store the random values. Got it? And as I told you that we can have hash table. The important thing I mentioned, and sorted list that we discussed, and stack. Okay. And we can have queue. So these are the different type of collection. So they would be non-generic, means there would be no specific data type. Okay. And if I talk about uh, the generic collection, then there would be, let us say, list. We can write it inside T. So we will define a particular type for this, and we can have hash table inside this as well. But that would be with particular type. We can have sorted list in this as well. List in this as well. We can have stack here as well. These are the most important. There are many other as well, but we will discuss like the importance only. Okay. So these are like similar. Mm, let us say array list, and these are like similar. This let me kept it over here. Okay. and like hash table and this hash table are similar. Okay, and let us say this sorted list and these are similar, and these both are same. So everything is same over here. The only difference would be over here is that here, if I talk about the array list, then there would be no data type over here. Okay, no data type, no data type of collection, and here we will take data type of collection. Okay, I hope you got it, the differences and all. Okay, Ashwini, any question over here? Is it clear to you? Very clear.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. So yeah, please be on mute. Now let's navigate to its practical implementation. So I already have explained all these things inside the PPTs. So you can say you just need to bother about these things only. Collection, these are non-generic, and these are the generic collection. And array list, sorted list, these are non-generic, and here as well, like non-generic collection. I mentioned the differences between these. So that we are going to discuss like array list, sorted list, stack, queue, hash table, and bit array. So in this, like what is array list? This is already defined. Array list stores object of any like any array. However, there is no need to specify the size of array list with an array as it grows automatically. Okay. And similarly, the definition of sorted list is over also giving inside the presentation and all. So this is all about the non-generic, and this is all about the generic collections, just like list, dictionary, sorted list, queue. Okay. So we are going to discuss. We are going to explore these only. So among these, like we will go one by one. In last session, we were learning about the sorted list, but like for now, that is not that much important. So currently, we will skip that. We'll come on that later on. But right now, we will discuss like 101. Okay. So let us see that we have discussed. This is the first non-generic. Okay. So the similar type of generic would be list. Okay, this is everything is same, just like syntax is different, and we don't have any data type over here, but in this we will have data type, and other operation would be same like add, remove, add, range, sort, delete, everything clear. All the method would be same. The only difference would be is that uh, we will store a particular type of data inside the list. Okay, and in hash table as well, we will store the data in key and value pair over here in hash table. Okay, and we will not have any particular data type. We can store any kind of value, but the substitute of is this dictionary. So where we can have a particular type of data. Okay, so like most of the time in real time that the framework and projects I am working on, we have to deal with like these only most of the time, like list and dictionary, because this gives the functionality of both. Like generic gives the functionality of we can store the similar type of data. Sometimes we may be required like non-generic as well, but most of the time we have to define the generic like list. This would be the simple direct values, and dictionary for the key and value pairs. So uh, we will explore these 4 points in details. Okay, list, hash table, dictionary, and like other would be very similar. I'll explain the definition all, and we can as the time of framework, when we will implement the real things in the Selenium, that time we'll practically use this and we will get like more idea about this. Okay, so yeah, this is all about this explanation. So the first thing we already have covered. Now let me create, can I create C# concept one more like folder over here that is called collection. Okay, in collection, like let me move this array list concept, or that is not that much required as well. Okay, we can directly create a class. Let us say add in class that would be called Like let we already have understood the array list. Now we are going to understood that list. Array list is of non-generic type collection and list is of generic type collection. Let us say list collection concept. Okay, so yeah, we have defined this. We were discussing about the sorted list, so we have main method over here. Let's change to main sort. Okay, now so let's focus on the list first. Okay, and in like I have skipped that sorted list for now, but I have mentioned all the definition of this and like how to get the values. I have mentioned over here, everything is over here, so I'll come this one later. First, that we have discussed. Okay, first type uh, that was array list, and the second one over here we are discussing is list. So the array list is of non-generic, and the list is of generic type. Okay, let us say how to define this. So this would be the syntax of list. Let us say list. Okay, and this is already showing, the intelligence is already showing, like you can like read out this. If I'll mouse over this, represents a strongly typed list. Strongly typed list of objects that can be accessed by an index method of like search, sort, manipulate list. Okay, that's what we were discussing right now. If I'll again right click, you can understood, like, and from which collection this is coming. The class is system dot collection dot generic. Got it? That we just discussed. This is called like system dot collection dot generic dot list. The same thing we are discussing over here. Okay, the system dot collection dot generic. Yep. Okay. So for after this, I need to do this diamond bracket, and you can see the definition of T below. The type of element in the list. What kind of element we are going to store? What is the data type of the values that we are going to store inside a list? The T represents the type. Got it? Okay. So just for an example, we want to store, uh, let us say, integer kind of value. Let us say int, or these are the like different type of integer 16 or 32 bit or 64 bit. That depends upon the length of data. Let us say integer 6. I need to store that, and I have created like this. Got it? So like I need not I didn't imported it. This is by default giving over here, that like system dot collection dot generic. Okay, so this is already defined over here, like this is the functionality of this. Okay, now the thing you need to remember over here is that like this is an empty list currently. If you need to assign the value over here, so list with the default capacity, let me define is like is equal to, as I told you that you need to use a new keyword to assign the memory. Okay, and new and list. And what type of list? It's integer 16, or you can directly write integer int 16, let us say. Okay, so this is the syntax of integer type of list. Got it? And you can define similarly like string type of data also over here. You need to use this curly braces with that. Okay, still there is an error. Initialize new static class that empty and has a default initialize capacity. Initialize new instance of list cannot implicitly side of the generic list 16 to system generic sort. So that should be capital I should be over here, I guess. Okay, yeah, that was the error. Like I mistakenly write it in small letters. Yeah, the integer type of list. This is currently empty. We haven't added any value inside this. Okay, we can have string type of list. So it's very easy. Just do the same thing. whatever you have done on the above line of code, and instead of integer, let us say it's string. Okay, and string, this is showing error over here, like because we have the same name reference variable. So let's change the name over here, int list, or this is called string list. Got it? So this is basically the syntax of, yeah, list. Further you can assign and store the value inside this. Okay, so this is like, we can also say it's a dynamic array list. Dynamic array list, this is also an array list, kind of array list, but in the array list we are not defining these string or integer, and everything else is same. Dynamic array list with no size limit. Okay, yeah. So for an example, if you need to add the values, let us say there are multiple ways to add the values. First we are going to discuss, let us say, if you have authors. Okay, let me create one more list over here. Just write list, double tap. Okay, and let us say string type of values, and author is equal to new list of string authors. In the authors I am adding like authors authors dot, it's not showing over here, like the name of the doesn't exist in the current. Okay, so for that, like we haven't defined that man method yet, so we need to define that. Public static void man. Okay, so you, as I told you, that everything you need to do inside a man method. Why that, we'll discuss in that maybe tomorrow, because from tomorrow onwards we will start working on the classes and objects and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so we have understood like how to define these things, and like if I'll mention like authors dot, the same that we are doing at the time of array list, the same thing you need to do over here is like, just say authors add, and let us say Mahesh is an author. Okay, Mahesh Kumar. Okay, and you can add more authors. uh, you can add like, yeah, let us say Chris Jordan, and you have one more author, let us say mm, Jassi is also an author. You may more have author, just like authors dot add, let us say Ankit. So these all are authors. Maybe we have a requirement. So please, these are the authors that you need to store inside list. And further during the program, you may need to use these kind of values in the real time as well. Like in any of our application, there may be some kind of web elements available, some kind of data that we need to store inside a list, and the data would be like string type of data should be over there. If I try to do like this, authors dot add, if I'll try to do like this, let us say 100, will it allow? No, it's saying this is an error, and if you'll mouse over to this, represented 32 signed integer, cannot convert from integer to string. So that means this particular list will contain only string type of values. You cannot store the integer or like double float, boolean kind of value inside this. Only string kind of values are permitted. But if I talk about the array list concept, in the array list, we understood that any kind of value we can store. We can store string as well. We can store like float value as well, character as well, boolean value as well. So that is the main difference. Because here in array list, we didn't define any kind of diamond operator and the type of this, because this is not allowed. And from where it's coming? this was the non-generic collection, so it was coming from system.collection. And the list that we are discussing over here is that we have defined a particular type over here, and this is coming from the collection dot generic class. Okay, and here we cannot take the different kind of values. The type that we have defined inside this diamond bracket, that type is only allowed. Okay, so yeah, these authors dot as these authors dot add, let us say if I want to assign like 11.2, so will it allowed? No, never, because only string kind of values are allowed. Neither this will allow the character, neither this is going to store the boolean kind of values. Only strings are allowed. Okay, let me comment it out. So you got it? Okay. So yeah, this is how you may store, and there are different way to store the values, as I told you at the time of array list as well. So let's remember the concept that we have already discussed. You can add these values like this. Okay, as you did it over here, like array dot add, and there are multiple ways to store these values. We have defined it, a array as well, and we assign that array. So let's understand that again. So you got it? Okay. Now if you want to read these values, let us say if you want to read all these values, then there are multiple ways to do that, and the simplest way is that for each loop, and or we can say for loop, that the loop that we have discussed based upon that. Okay, and let us first try to decode this. So here, what is the name of collection? The collection is authors. Okay, and what is the type of this collection? This is string type of collection. Okay, and item we can say author. This would be a single of author. Okay, and just print the author name. Okay, console dot write line and print the author. Okay, so if I'll execute this, what kind of output will I? This is showing an error, so there might be one more curly braces. Yeah, this is gone away. So let us execute it and see the output. First time it may take a little, or let me execute it again. Can you hear me? I think network connection is fine. Yeah. Yeah. So you can see Mahesh, Kumar, Krish, Jordan, Jassi, and Ankit. All the values got printed, and these are the string type of values. Okay. I hope you have understood this. And let us say there are multiple ways to insert the values as well. Okay. Let us say if I need to insert, this is the add method that we have discussed. Add method. Let us say insert method. These are similar. Everything is similar rather than the data type. Okay. Authors dot, you can say insert. Okay, insert. What you need to insert? Let's say at third position, at the third index, let us add Bill author. There is a new author called Bill, or let us say Tom. Okay, we have a new author and we need to insert this. So there is a simple command add. Instead of add, we need to use insert, and there is an index number. If you'll mouse over this, then you can see in the bracket you need to define the index and item. So this is the index number and this is the item. After inserting this, let me get the values again. So write this similar line again. Okay, and let me separate it over here so you can discriminate the output. Yeah, output will be separated by this. Okay, let's execute it again and analyze the output whether the value is successfully inserted or not. Okay, yeah, you can see at the third position first was Jassi, but now like there was one more after 0 1 2 3 at third Tom has been inserted and Ankit like replaced one more state and this would be at fifth place. Got it? So this is as similar to the array list, but the basic difference is that the value should be of string type only and numeric type only. So this is the way you can insert the value. Another way that we discuss at the time of array list as well, you can create a simple array. Let us say we have some new authors. Okay, you just create a collection of those authors. Let us like this string new new authors. And how can you define a strings or like arrays? You just create arrays, just like string type of array you are creating. Let us say new author 1 comma new author 2 comma new author 3. Got it? This is how you need to declare it. And simply insert range. There is another method called insert range. So you just authors, so you need to use like this reference inside this list, you need to insert that values as well. So this authors dot insert range called insert range. Okay, so yeah, insert range you already have used, and inside this insert range let me insert these array values that you just used. From where it would be inserted, let us say from you need to define the index as well as the collection. So let us say from second position, second index, add these values. Okay, and again separate this and print all the values using for each loop. Just try to, you just need to understand the concept like how it's working. So if I'll execute this, try to pay your attention over here. So these are very easy but like tricky concept. Yeah, you see the new authors that we have added, like new author 1, new author 2, new author 3. At third position, this entire collection got added. Got it? So you can add a collection as well inside the collection of, or we can say entire array collection inside this. So yeah, this is how you need to do all this kind of stuff. So I guess it's easy. What is your thought? Like it seems difficult or an easy? Aswini, what's your input on this?
And this is easy, I mean, yeah, but I have one question that how come they have added in one single line new author one, new author two, and new author three?
Yeah. You talk about the recent output about these values.
Yes, yes. In a single line, we can see in the console window.
Yeah, so like these are the like, multiple lines. So as I told you that we have defined a single line array. You at the
Okay,
single line
okay.
you put, yeah,
Okay, we have not inserted double quote in each of
yeah,
section. That's it.
exactly. You we haven't like if you'll do like this, if you'll do like this, let us say if I am doing like this and let's execute it again. Okay, that depends upon like how we need to insert the values. This that treated like a single kind of value. This time you can see that's new author 1, new author 2, new author 3. The
Okay,
value quoted. Correct.
okay.
So you can explore some other methods as well. Let us do a few more things. Let's say remove. I think we should not waste time on this because we already have do this kind of stuff. But even though just to make you comfortable, let us say authors dot remove. There are multiple methods to remove these values. Let us say you need to remove Ankit from the list. Okay, and if you will print, then Ankit would not be there. And like if you need to remove at, there is a method called remove at and remove all. You can see all these remove range. There are multiple methods. Let us say we need to pass index inside this. Let us say the third index should be removed, and we can also like authors dot remove range. We can say in which we need to define the range, like from where to where you need to, from 2 to like 4 you need to remove. Okay. And and there is one more method that we have discussed, remove dot clear. Okay, so this will remove all that list, the values that we have stored inside the collection. This will remove all. Okay, so yeah, you can execute it at your own end. You can try, the value will get removed. We already have seen at the time of array list. Okay, and for an example, if you want to uh, check the index, like for an example, we have multiple names over here. Let us say new author 1, Tom author, and we have some more authors. Like if you want to get like at which position, which index the C is stored, so there is one more method called index of. That is called index of. Okay, let us say authors dot index of, yeah, index of the C. You want to calculate or get the index of the C. So this will return what kind of value this coin. If you mouse over this, then you can see integer type of value this is going to return. So we need to store inside, because index is always an integer type of value, right? Index is always an integer type of value. So you just need to store inside an array. Let us say this is index, and further you may print this and verify whether you got the correct index or not. Yeah, let's execute it, and we get like 3. I hope 3 or 2. What should we get? 0, 1, 2. We should get 2 over there. Okay, the output of the expected output is 2. Let me execute it. Okay, so this got executed, and this we are getting 5 this time. So why we are getting 5? Because like we have inserted few more values inside this from second position. So the Jesse comes on the fifth position. This, okay. So this is correct. Like we are just seeing this particular collection, but further we are doing for few more operations. We added Tom author, then we added 3 new values inside this. So now presently the Jesse is on fifth index. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is on fifth index. So the output is correct. The output should be 5. Got it? And there are the similar operations that we did at the time of array list that we can do over here, just like authors dot short. Okay, we can do like this as well. And like authors dot reverse, you can do to reverse the values. So you can try it. The output would be correct for sure. Okay. So yeah, this is kind of operation you may do that. It's not null here. Okay. Yeah, you need to try it all this at your end. This is all about the index. So these are like two things. These are the methods, and some are you can get the count as well. Okay, you can get the capacity as well. Like capacity means there are two things, count and capacity. Let me explain you the capacity as well. And this would be the count and capacity would be applied for all the collection that we are going to discuss, including array list, linked list, sort list, dictionary, everything. Okay, let me explain over here. Just like if you need to calculate the count, how many data you can store, uh, you have stored authors dot count. Simply there is a count method. Okay, this will show you the count of count of authors, or we can say total number of authors are this. We have concatenated these values. Okay, So if you will run this, you will get, and this value is not fixed. Like if you have added more authors, then the count would be changed in the below lines. Now the count would be like the total number of uh, authors are like currently it's showing 0. So we need to calculate analyze it like why it's showing 0. Okay. Yeah. So where is that line I have added? Yeah, because here we haven't added any value yet, right? We started adding the authors from here. So this is empty list, correct? So the output is correct. Let me add it over here. So the total number of count would be 4 over here. And like we have added few more authors over here. So the count would be different at every stage because we are adding more and more values. So now let it execute once again. So the count is changing accordingly. So here the count was 0, then the count has been 4, and here the count has been 5. So this is the way we need to, I feel, add that one more line over here, then the count would be increased over here. So you need to understand that this is how we can calculate. So to calculate the count, it's kind of property of this list. We also, if you remember, we also calculated the count at the time of array list as well, right? Similarly, we are calculating the count over here, just like we added the count. And like I haven't defined any capacity yet, but I can define the capacity of this particular string as well. Okay, capacity means like I'm kind of trying to restrict it, like how much value this would be storing. So let us say if I just want to say let's 5. Okay, so that doesn't mean that this will store only 5 values, but initially, let us say my initial capacity is 5. Later on, if the 5 value is already added, this will again increase the capacity from 5. I have explained this entire diagram at the time of array list. I'm just limiting its capacity to 5. When the 5 value will be added, again new 5 would be assigned, 5 capacity would be assigned to this, and at that time, like this is dynamic array, not a constant, but like we are just for an example, we are sure that we have 5 authors only, so we can define the capacity over here as well. Okay, so if I'll get the trying to get the capacity, the capacity of capacity is, let us say capacity is, we have one method called authors dot capacity. So this should return the capacity. Let's see what is the capacity over here. And because here we don't have any, but like we have defined this. So yeah, let us say, let's add few more values. Let's author edge, Rashmi, and this is not saying that you can only you can only add 5 values. No, so initially we are just defining a capacity, but we can add more values and this capacity would get increased automatically. Let us say we have one more author. Let us say John. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 values over here. So let me check my capacity over here and over here. Okay, this is started the execution, and let's wait for a moment till that will get output. Yeah, so these are the output. So the capacity over here is 5 because initially we have defined the capacity is 5 and the total number of authors was 0. But like we have added one more author, like more than 5 authors, so the total number of authors are 6 now, and the capacity has been become 10. Okay, one more like fifth kind of capacity added over here. So I hope you got the concept. So let me explain over here what is the capacity and what is the count. Capacity is capacity. Capacity is number of element that a list type can contain. Okay, number of element that a list type can contain, or like as you easily understand that the default capacity is always zero. Default capacity, for an example, for this list is 0. If you will not define over 5 over here, then the result of this would be 0, and you have defined the capacity. Now the result would be 5 because the default capacity is always 0. And what is the count? The count is number of element in list, existing element, number of existing element in list or in any kind of collection. Got it? So here, for an example, here the capacity is 5, but the count is 0. Got it? Because it can contain five values, but presently there is no as such value added. That's why the count is 0. So count is number of existing element, and capacity number of element that this particular list can contain. For an example, I can define it as many as I want. I can define like 50. Okay, so that depends, and that will be not so like this is also not would be fixed or constant. As soon as you will increase more than 50 values or 5 values, the capacity would automatically get increased. Got it? So any question so far, Ashwini? Are we good to go?
Mm, yes, you can.
Okay, so that's fine. Yeah. So I hope you have understood this list concept. You may practice it at your own, and at the time of framework designing, I'll explain you the Selenium framework. That time we'll use this practically as well. So you just need to remember this concept, like how it's being used. Okay. Now let me move to the two things that we have discussed. As I told you that I'll have more focus on these four things only. Can you hear me? Am I audible to you guys?
Yes,
Okay, okay. Thank you. So we have understood this array list. We have understood this was non-generic and this was generic. Similarly, this hash table is non-generic and dictionary is generic. So we'll pick two more. The only difference, like the similarity between hash table and dictionary, is that hash table can contain a key and value pair. This also contain key and value pair. But in hash table, there would be no particular data type, and in dictionary we have to store a particular type of data. Okay, let's start. Where is that? Let's close it, and let's change the main method name so that we can use this inside in different class. And let's create one more class over here to understand the concept of hash table. Okay, let's add this class. We have added this class. Let's create main method public static create. These are keywords, that's why in small letter. Void is a type of return type, and main is the name of this method. Okay, so we have one method. Now we are understanding the hash table. We already have understood that array list. Okay, this is non-generic type. We just discussed about the list. Okay, this is generic type. And third, we are going to discuss is hash table. Okay, and the hash table is, this is, as you know that hash table is of, what is the type of hash table? It's generic or non-generic? Obviously it's non-generic. and it will always be written in key value format. Okay, key value pairs, PAIRs would be there. So why we need in the list and array list concept, we were using index to find the values, and here we will use key. Okay, key is used to find the storage value. Key is used to find the storage location. Okay, and yeah, it the one more thing you need to remember about this, in that, like, as far as I remember, we cannot have duplicate values in hash table. Okay, if you can google it, like, you will get more types as well, like hash set and some more type of non-generic and generic as well, but they are not generally used, so I have skipped those. Okay, so can't have duplicate values in hash table. We will see it practically as well whether it works or not. So how to declare that? Very similar to the other collection. Just write hash table. Hash set is there. So hash set, if, let us see, if you have diamond brackets, that would be collection dot generic. If you don't have that collection, just like the diamond bracket, that means this is coming from that hash table. Okay, that means collection dot generic. This is hash set, and we are currently studying the hash table. Hash table, let's just say st is equal to new hash table. Yeah, so we already have defined this. Okay, now uh, what the operations that you can perform with this? So you can assign any kind of value. Let us say hash table st dot add method would should be there, let us say, or you can define the direct value. You can define the capacity over here, everything you can do that like this. You should get add, not, you are not getting the option of add. You have defined that public static void main, is that correct? Public void main, yeah, internal classes. So what are the methods that it's giving? Equal, right? So it's automation C sharp concepts dot hash table. Okay, so okay. So the class name, we need to give a different class name. This is thinking like this is my class name. So this is not class name we are taking over here. So we need to change our class name. This was the mistake we were making over here. Let us say hash table concepts. Why was that error? Because this particular syntax, this compiler thinking like we are creating the object of this class, but we don't want to create the object of class. Here we just need to use the hash table collection. Okay, so this is showing like hash table concept. No, we have to use hash table collection. Okay, and we need to import it. From where we will import it? Let us write it first, and we'll look into that. Okay, HASSTABLE, correct. So there should be using system dot collection. Got it? Using system dot collection, you need to import it. So this is showing. This is saying us you need to add. Let me first create hash table. Okay, and yeah, the error has been gone away. Right, there is no as such error. So you see, like this is not that much tricky. If you keep practicing, that this would be easy for you. So you have imported using the system dot collection. We already have discussed that. Where is your hash table? This hash table is over here, and like this would be presented inside system dot collection, and the hash table is present inside the both, like generic as well as non-generic. Okay, so we currently we are discussing just like and I think there is, we have done some mistake over here. Let's look into the PPT. So instead of hash table, we have to do dictionary. Okay, so there would be in generic, instead of this hash table, If we need to take data type, then we have to use ECTONARY. We have to use dictionary, not the hash table. So hash table is non-generic and this dictionary is generic. Okay, I hope you not get confused over here. Okay, so hash table st is the reference variable. So st dot, the same thing that we did for the list or the array list, I need to do that for here. But the thing over here is that we can only add the values in key and value pair. Okay, if you will mouse over this is showing add object key and object value. Okay, so let us say my key is, for an example, id is 0001. Okay, now I again want to store dot add. Let me say I this time I need to store a name. Name is my, or we can take this as an numeric integer kind of value, and name is, let us say, Ankit. Okay, you see we can store multiple types of data. That's why it's non-generic. If we would have used this kind of structure, we have defined the values, that means it would be the particular type of data and it would be generic collection. But now it's non-generic collection and we can store any type of value, whether it's integer or whether it's string. Or let us say for an example you need to add one more value. For an example, uh, you see uh, mm, gender, I don't know the spell of gender, it's GAN or GEN, but let it be like this. And I'm storing a character, like this is in single quotes, that means it's in kind of character values. Okay, and st dot add one more value. Let us say what you need to add over here is like that. This may be a boolean kind of value I want to store. QA, is it QA or not? Let us say I'm defining true or. So you see I can store different type of value, and you, like this might be, the id might be in string as well. You need not to write like string, it might be like 1 2 3 4 5, whatever you want. The type you may change, the type of id you can also change, and the type of value is already changed over here. This is an integer, this is a string, this is character, this is a boolean kind of value that we have defined over here. So different types of data you can store inside this. Got it? So yeah, the methods that we like can use similar to that methods of hash table is like you can use add method, you can use clear method, the same method that we are using, and contains key you can use, contains value you can, this will give true and false whether contains value. These kind of methods you can use. And what are the properties? The properties that like capacity and count, those kinds of properties. We also look the properties at the time of uh, array list as well, and I also give you an PPT of the properties. Maybe, yeah. So you can say these are the array list properties: capacity, count, is fixed site, is only item, and these are the methods of array list: add, insert, remove, sort, reverse. So similarly, we are doing the same kind of thing over here. If I talk about the properties of hash table. Okay, table. Yeah. Then you may get the count. You can check whether it's read only or not. This will give false. Is read only. Sometime this we may require this kind of properties, or we can get like key values, or the kind of stuff we can compare this as well. So yeah, this is the thing you need to remember. So now, for an example, you want to get the keys or the values or the entire values from this, then how we will do that? It's very easy. As every time you are using for loop, so let us say you have used for loop. First you want to get the keys. You want to get the keys. Okay. So the collection name is st. You have defined st, or let us change it to employee. Employee. Then you need to change these as well. St employee, employee. This is the variable that we need to change. And if you want to calculate it, let us say employee or item in. Now, what is the type of this employee? This is type of hash table. So there are different ways to do that. So this is like we can also store the values inside an object type. Okay, you can remember this system dot object. Okay, this is a type of item. Remember, at the time of arrays I told you the concept of object in which we can store multiple type of values. Okay, we can store multiple. There were two limitation of arrays. If I recall the concept, where is the array class? Array, string array concept. I don't remember. Assignment data type, static array concept. Okay, in the static array concept, there were two limitation of this. Size is fixed, and the one other is that similar type of data only we can store. We can only store like similar type of data. Just like to overcome this problem, we used object array. Okay, and at the end we also created an object array and store the values. I don't. Yeah, this is an object array. Okay, in which we stored multiple type of values like 25, character, float, boolean, integer. Yeah. So the same thing we are trying to achieve over here is that employees having multiple types of values. It has it has integer, it has string, it has like boolean, so character. So this has multiple types of values, and we are trying to get these values so we can store them inside the object as well. You got it? Yeah, and you may take war as well as per your requirement. Let us say if I need to print this, so always remember, if you will put employee dot, then you will get an idea like what you need to get. You want to get values or keys. So here we want to get keys only. So in this collection, this is the collection of keys, and here this will iterate one by one values. And if we write like this, the the key, or let write directly like key. Okay, and let us say item over here, or I can directly say item to key. This is my variable name, so I can take it anything, whatever I want. Okay, so this is the for loop. You need to remember. Similarly, if you want to get the values, then how you will do that? You just key get the values. Just use values over here. Okay, and this may be value, single value, and this is the value. You should get like this, and let's separate it with stars so that you can discriminate the output. Okay, let me print it like this, otherwise it may print its the ASCII values. Let us say this is also in string. Okay, let's execute this. Okay, let's wait for the output, and we should get correct keys as well as correct values. Okay, this code executed, and here are the outputs. So the key is, let's compare it, that we have stored the values. Key is like name, ID, QA, and gender, right? And the values are also like we haven't changed over here. We also need to give it value. Okay. Let me execute it again. Yeah, let's execute it. So the keys are QA, name, gender, and ID, and the values are true, Ankit, am, and one. Okay. So yeah, this is how we'll get key and value. But now, if you need to get together, like you need to in one line of code, you want to get both keys and values, because here in that output you will not able to compare like which keys for which value. Okay, that may be ups and downs because that are not systematically ordered. So this is the main difference between sorted list and hash table. The main difference between these is that in case of sorted list, I'll explain you that as well. But in sorted list, the values are like arranging in like, let me tell you that ascending or descending order, or where is the array list concept. We have understood there is the class called sorted list. Is there any class? Data type has table list collect sorted list. So in sorted list, cannot be null capacity sorted number of key value pairs with the same time and different types. So cannot store different key can value into dictionary entry. Sorted list can be used. So there is an property of this as well, in which like the value with in sorted list will be order, will get output as always sorted, like whether it's in ascending order or descending order, we'll get sorted value. But here we are getting the random values. Okay, so let's focus on this. So we have get the values, we have get the keys and values. Now you want to both get both keys and values. Okay. So for that, instead of like object, you just need to use dictionary entry class. You have you have used object class over here. There is a new class. Let me explain you that. Used for each loop. Okay, and collection is the same. This time you just have to need to use the same. You need not to write like dot value or dot key, because we want to get both values. So here you can use, there is one class to get the dictionary or key and value type. If you want to store key and value type of pairs, then you can use dictionary entry, dicti, dictionary and entry. I guess this is the correct class name. Just like object we have to use, you just need to remember this. Portable executable, this may be coming. Yeah, dictionary entry or item. Yeah, or you can say di or item, whatever you want. Dictionary entry di. Okay. So this di will give you the both key as well as pair. So you just need to store them. Let us say this di dot, if you'll write like key, this should for that you need to define it like where you need to store them. So let us say I have a key at zeroth place. First I need to define key, and uh, I need to define value. Value would be like equal to at first place. I'll explain you this, don't worry. 1. Okay. Now you just write like di dot, you should get key. You are not getting this, you should get it. Dictionary entry is the class values in employees. Yeah, our class name is employee. For is dictionary entry di. Okay. Di dot I need to check it. From where it's coming. This is the portable executable relatively size, and each are the definition objects. Let me import it from some other packages. Since a long time I haven't executed it. Reflection dot dictionary entry. Yeah, this is correct. Print the values of this. Okay, we have to use the value key as a 0 and value 1 is like this. And we have one more method called key value pair, but let's take it like this only. Let's remove this. I think this should give, let me check it. Let's quickly Google this. Get key pair. Yeah. Mhm. Will we get that? Dictionary need to create object of this. No, no. This is not the thing that we are looking for. Get has table values. So, like as I told you that not we are not using these frequently. Most of the time, we used to work on dictionary only. So that's why I am not remember the exact concept. But like this should be the thing. I need to check some. Yeah, dictionary. I know that this is the dictionary entry. We are doing it. I guess correct. I think we write it in the same manner only. Following through runtime exception key already added. Okay. So we are using, I guess we are using the same kind of syntax for each. DE, yeah, DI in numbers, keys 0. You can write it equal to or like double slash, that doesn't matter. Comma, DI dot keys. Okay, this time we get DI dot keys. Okay, okay. This is dictionary entry. Directory. Oh. So you see, what is the mistake that we are doing over here? Aswini, did you notice? This is the like programming language.
A
Did you notice?
directory
Yeah,
and dictionary.
exactly. So we need to use dictionary entry, not directory entry. I was pronunciating it like dictionary entry, but using the directory entry. Hmm.
Hmm.
And now we should get key di dot key value. Yeah. Sorry, yeah. Took lots of our time and so let's use this only. Okay. So you can define the for each loop in this manner as well. You need not to give these curly braces, or you may use these. That depends upon you. You can directly without these curly braces, you can write this. This is a good practice. Always try to write it so that you will not get confused. Over here, we have to take employees. This is dictionary entry, okay? And this is like we need to get key space value. Just first we need to define it like key would be like this, okay, and comma we need to get the value. So how this will get printed, let's separate it out and explain you in details as well. First let's execute it and see the results. Why that we have key 0 and value 1 we have. Maybe you are aware of that, but like we can discuss that. This code executed and we are So like this is how to get the output in this format. We have used this key and value, key 0, value 1. So the value of key name, comma, that the comma we have defined, and the value is Ankit. Now the QA, the key is QA, value is true. Yes, I am a QA. The key is gender and the value is, so to get the value in the key and value format we have used that. If you will put like 1 over here and 0 over here, then you will get the output in the reverse order. Okay. Yeah. So instead of comma, you may use like and as well. Now you will get output like key. The first key is like ID and the value is 001. Key is name and the value is, yeah. You may use like this. Okay. Just to get the systematic output, you have used that. Please be on mute if you don't have any question. Yeah. It's like key, gender, and value is am. Key ID and the value is 1. You have used this and in between instead of comma. So you can define systematically, you can get the values like this only. So I hope this is all about the hash table concept. Furthermore, there are a lot more operations you can do with this, just like um, you have employees collection, you may use clear, remove, cast, add, and all the things that we have discussed so far. I need to connect to the charger. Just give me a minute, guys. Let me check. Yeah. So, yeah. So the other thing that we have understood so far in respect to array list and list, we can do that operations here as well. Okay. So just like as I told you that you may use the add you have already used. You may remove, clear, count, that kind of let's say clone. All these things you may explore it and do it like so. Like this is kind of assignment for you, that what you need to do. Assignment is that, let me write it inside this. Assignment is that just define uh, difference. You need to write it, okay, in a book, notebook, and present to me. Difference between generic, this is an interview question, non-generic. At the end of this sessions, or I'll say course, I'll give you very interesting interview question, and you will not going to like ask anything beyond that. That kind of questions I'm preparing. Generic and non-generic collection, and the other assignment is for you is that like mm, let us say just create. Let's be focused on list only. Create list of type let us say string and integer, and use most of the methods presented inside int, presented in int. Okay, just like uh, for an example, you just need to define any integer or string kind of int, whatever you want, and you maybe do it in both integer and int, and then you need to do all the operations just like add, okay, insert, remove, okay, clear. You need to create a kind of collection like this. Okay, this is the very simple assignment for you, and these are very most important interview question. If you are going for SDET profile, they will surely ask you this kind of questions. Okay, and very quickly I will discuss one more type of array list over here. This is I'm discussing that because that is very similar to the hash table only. This is kind of hash table only, but there are a little bit data type that we need to mention. So to you can like you can store, just like if you will add these values, just like you have updated something. So this star is showing over here in the class name. You can see the star because this is star is showing because this file is not being saved yet. So press Control S for save. So the star is removed. That means all of your file are saved now. If you want to close all these together, just right click on this close all tab. Okay, the all tab will get cleared. Okay, and also I already have told you that if you not get Solution Explorer, let's see, I have closed the Solution Explorer from here. So how you will get that? Let it be closed. Wait for some time. It's getting hanged. These are the things that comes with the practice and experience. How to get these kind of windows. I get we are get stuck in between. Yeah. So that has been removed. Okay. So this is in view. This is a view tab. Under view tab, it's called Solution Explorer. So we need to get back on the Solution Explorer. You may do that. Okay. Now let's create one more class. Add. Where is the add method? Here is it. And directly you can click on the class. Let us say Dictonary. Not directory concept, dictionary concept. You need to do that. Okay. For that you would be needed man method, but like you already have been used inside the hash table the man method. So let's change it to something else. Let us say public void man hash. We have given this a different name so that we can use the man method over here. Public static void man. Always remember that m is capital inside man method. If you'll write it,
Aniket, how much time it will require? 10 o'clock, I have
just
a stand-up meeting.
yeah, just 5 minutes more, 5 to 10 minutes maximum, so that like we can be on same page. Otherwise, like tomorrow I need to start it from same thing. I need to explain it again. That's why I want to explain this
Okay,
the dictionary.
okay.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So as I already have told you that what is the type of dictionary, whether it's like static or non-static. As I told you that the dictionaries, sorry, non-static means non-generic or generic. So dictionary is always of generic type. This is type of sorted list only. In sorted list we don't have any data type, but in dictionary we will have the data type value. In this also we will assign key value pair, same thing, but here with data type. Got it? Yeah. So how you need to define, how will you create the dictionary? Just say dictionary. This is a keyword, and always this is directory. Now I'll not forget this. Dictionary, dictionary. Yeah. If you will mouse over this, this is saying dictionary key value where t is not null. Okay. So you need to define like this dictionary. Let us say employee list is equal to new keyword to assign the memory and news dictionary. With this, you also need to provide the data type. What kind of key and value you are going to store? Let us say I am storing the string, comma string. Okay. You can use small s as well. I'll explain you that it later. Like one is coming from the .NET and one is coming from the system class. If you'll mouse over to this is system.string, and on the small, this is also kind of system.string. Yeah, capital and small. You this is facility gives the C sharp. You can store like small and capital. Okay, cool. Here as well, you need to define the same kind of thing. That means in this dictionary, your key would be of string type, and your value would be of string type. But in case of hash table, we can take anything like employee. Let us say add. hmm, You can store like one of one. Means you can store both string type or integer type or anything, any value you want to depend. But like in we cannot do this kind of thing in dictionary. If you have defined this in string type, then always the key would be of string type. This is for the key, the data type of key, and this is the data type of values. Okay. For an example, I need to insert some data. Let us say employee list dot add method is over here. Similar, every concept is same now. That's why I just want to cover this. Okay. Let us say if you have the key is just like or employee name. For an example, the employee name is Mohan. Okay. And string means you need to take the designation of that. Okay. Value is just like a programmer, isn't programmer. Okay. You have one more employee. Just just say you have Ankit over here. Okay. And is an QA. Okay. Employee list dot add. Let us say we have Tom. One more employee. And Tom is an, let us say, product manager. Okay. So you see, if I tries to do like, let us say if I try to assign dot add, can I do right like one of one over here, one of two? No. He's saying add a specific key and value to the dictionary. That means value should be string only and the key should be string only. I cannot kept it like this. Both key like key and like one of these values should be like, let me do it like, even I cannot do like this, right? Both of the values should be string only. Otherwise, this will throw an error. Let us say scum master, but I cannot do like this. Okay. Charger. Yeah, it's got connect. Yeah. So that's fine. You got an idea like what kind of value. Similarly, you can you can create different kind of dictionaries. For you have created a string kind of dictionary. Tomorrow, if you as per the requirement, you may create like you the keys of a string type, but the value would be float. Okay. So just write float over here as well. Okay. The keys of string type, and you cannot take employee list over here. You can say price list. So here as well, you need to use this add keyword. Uh, okay, let's use this add keyword. Let us say price of string. The key is string. Let us say T. But now you have to take float values. Let us say 15.5. This is the price. This is kind of float value, and you have to use F keyword. At the time of data type, I have explained you the F keyword would be used with float values. I don't know. Cannot convert double to string. Okay, okay. Employee list would not be over there. It's have to use price list. Okay, these are the silly things. Okay, and can I use small f and directly value even though it should not throw any. Oh yeah, I need to use f. Okay, so similarly, you can assign different kind of price list. Let us say price list dot add. I hope you get an idea like how the values are getting stored. Let's say milk, and the value is like 10.3. The value is float kind of value. Okay. So now how to retrieve these kind of values? So that is very easy. Okay. So to retrieve the dictionary type of values, what you need to do, you just write for each loop that we already have understood. So I'll try to get the both key and value pairs only. So let us say we are getting employee list. Okay. So just like we used the dictionary entry, we can use key value pair. if we have data type defined, then there is one more class available inside C sharp, that is called key value, and we will use it lots of time. Okay, we will use it key value pair, and we need to define like what kind of data we are using. Let us say in the above example we use string comma string values, correct? And the items are like employees or item, you can take it, and this is our employee list. Okay, now you just need to print this console dot write line, and just I explain in the previous example. Let us say key is, for an example, at zeroth place, and 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 value, you can give it like value is at first place. Okay, and comma emp dot key, you should get it, yes you got it, and emp dot value, you should get it. Yeah, so this should give you the correct result. Both of should be string only. Okay, otherwise, like if you define it like integer, then the output would be wrong, because this employee list, what is the type of this employee list? This is a string. So you need to define both of the thing is like string only. Okay, let's execute it and analyze the output, whether we write it correct or not. Let's wait for a few seconds, and yes, this is good. Key Mohan and the value is programmer. Key Ankit and the value is QA. Tom and the value is project manager. This is how you may store as much as values you want. Okay, and similarly, you can get one by one values as well. Okay, and you can get the count as well. How you will get the count? It's very easy. Emp list dot count. Okay, emp list dot count, count. This will return the count of this. Okay, let us say if you want to get the keys, this is very similar to the previous one. Get keys only. Okay, let us say get keys only. So to get keys, what you need to do? Just you need to define a dictionary, or say, oh, what is employee list? Employee list dot keys is there. You will get keys like this. Okay, what kind of value this will return? This will return a dictionary type of values. So okay, so to store them, you need to define a dictionary. Tomorrow I'll explain this as well, but like just understand this quickly. I'll again explain this, don't worry. String, and we are using string kind of values, and we will say okay dot keys collection. We have string, not value collection. We have to take key collection. Okay, key collection, and these are keys is equal to this. So this is the type of the output that we are going to return from this. I'll explain this, don't worry. And if I need to get values from dictionary, values, then how you will do that? Everything is similar. Okay, instead of keys you need to write values. Okay, and key collection की जगह अपने को लेना है value collection. Okay, and these are values, value. Yes, now just define for each loop, and this is the collection of, means all the keys are here, all the values are here. So just like if you want to print it, it's very easy. Or you can direct, first we have get calculated over here, all these value can be written inside for each loop as well. Okay, so instead of war, you can write all these line as well, but just like to make it easier, I just explain it over here. Like you will get employee dot keys, and you can store them inside this value, and further you can just like collection is keys. Okay, and that this type, what is the type of keys? Always we know that it's string type of data that we are getting, keys of string type. Okay, and this is key. Let's print this. Let us say console dot write line key, and similarly everything is same. Similarly, if you want to print the values, instead of keys, then just took values over here that we have just defined over it. The type would be same. Here take value and just print value. Okay. So yeah, it's very similar. Let's print it. What kind of output you are going to get? This is the last thing. Yeah. So you get initially you get key and value pair, then you get all the keys, Mohan, Ankit, Tom, and then you get all the values. Okay. That's that. And this have same kind of methods just like add, remove, clear. Okay. And this have some more methods just like if you want to check this particular is contains my name or not, this contains t or not, so these kind of values you can, so this will return. Also we have done these things at the time of array list contains key. Okay, I'll discuss this tomorrow, like contains key, just like whether it contains Ankit or not, and contains value as well. Ankit is an key. Okay, this should return true. Okay, and contains value as well. Let us say contains just like project manager is a value, not a key. So we will verify if this contains. So this should also return true. Okay, we can use this kind of methods inside that. Okay, so that's all about this dictionary and today's session. I hope like we discussed not that much things, but like four things quickly. I hope you get an idea about now you should be aware like array list and the other thing like hash table and dictionary. Okay, that the things that we discussed today. I hope you got an idea about this. And from tomorrow onwards, like we'll use, don't discuss everything in detail now. Like this is tech, you they are not that much required. So I'll use directly at the time of framework implementation. Otherwise, there would be a huge context for you. From tomorrow onwards, we will understand like what is object, what is namespace, what is classes, what is static, non-static, all these small concepts, and further we will understand the OOPS concept, like what is inheritance, encapsulation, abstraction, interface, all this. So don't worry, we'll go easy, we'll go slow, and we'll understand each topics. Okay. So that's all about this session. Do you have any questions so far? I know it's being too late today, but yeah.
Yeah, I have no questions. I will practice, and if I have face any problem, I will let you.
Sure. So please focus on the assignment that I have sent.
Yeah.
Yeah.